Hello, welcome to another session of Ready to Read, sponsored by Fort Worth Alumni Chapter, Delta Sigma Theta. Today's book is Amazing Grace by Mary Hoffman, illustrated by Caroline Bench. Amazing Grace is an empowering tale of a girl who loves stories and acting them out. One day she was excited to try out for the role of Peter Pan, but was discouraged to do so because she was a girl and because she was black. Let's see what happens to Grace as Texas native, actress, and creative Sharan Goodspeed Keaton reads Amazing Grace to us. Let's jump into a good book.
Hello, my name is Sharan Goodspeed Keaton, and today I'm going to be reading Amazing Grace by Mary Hoffman and Caroline Bench. Caroline is the illustrator. Drew all the photos. I chose this book because Grace is an actor. Like me, I'm a professional actor, and there were some important reasons why growing up as an actor and not looking anything like anything you see on television that, you need a little bit of extra encouragement, a little bit of an extra push. So I thought, what better book to read to you today and hopefully give you that little bit of extra encouragement, that little bit of extra push. Grace was a girl who loved stories. She didn't mind if they were read to her or told to her or made up in her own head. She didn't care if they were from books or movies or out of Nana's long memory. Grace just loved stories. And after she'd heard them, and sometimes while they were still going on, Grace would act them out. She always gave herself the most exciting part. Grace went into battle as Joan of Arc and wove a wicked web as Anansi the spider. She hid inside the wooden horse at the gates of Troy. Ooh. She went exploring for lost kingdoms. She sailed the 7 seas with a peg leg and a parrot. Peg leg? Oh, a pirate. Have you ever pretended to be any of those things? I don't think I've ever pretended to be a pirate, but definitely taken over a kingdom or two in my day. Oh, she was Aladdin rubbing his magic lamp to make the genie appear. And Mowgli in the backyard jungle. Oh, wow. Most of all, Grace loved to act. She loved to act out adventure stories and fairy tales. When there was no one else around, Grace played all the parts by herself. She set out to seek her fortune with no companion but her trusty cat and found a city with streets paved with gold. Sometimes she could get Ma and Nana to join in when they weren't too busy. Then she was Dr. Grace, and their lives were in her hands. One day, Grace's teacher said they would like to do the play Peter Pan. Grace knew who she wanted to be, so when she raised her hand, Raj said, "You can't be Peter. That's a boy's name." Grace kept her hand up. "You can't be Peter Pan," whispered Natalie. "He isn't black." But Grace kept her hand up. "All right," said the teacher. "Lots of you want to be Peter Pan, so we'll have auditions next week to choose the parts." She gave them words to learn. When Grace got home, she seemed sad. "What's the matter?" asked Ma. "Raj said I couldn't be Peter Pan because I'm a girl." "Well, that shows what Raj knows," said Ma. "A girl can be Peter Pan if she wants to." Grace cheered up. Then later she remembered something else. "Natalie said I can't be Peter Pan because I'm black," she said. Ma looked angry. Before she could speak, Nana said, "It seems Natalie is another one who don't know nothing. You can be anything you want, Grace, if you put your mind to it." I remember being a little girl and having a lot of people tell me that I couldn't be an actor because I was black, because there was not a lot of black actors that were on television at the time. I remember people telling me that I couldn't be a professional singer or dancer because I'm a little rounder than the ones that were on television at the time. I didn't listen to them. Let's see what happens to Grace. On Saturday, Nana told Grace they were going out. In the afternoon, they caught a bus and a train into town. Nana took Grace to a grand theater. The sign outside read, Rosalie Wilkins in Romeo and Juliet, in sparkling lights. Are we going to the ballet, Nana? Asked Grace. We are, honey. But first, I want you to look at this picture. Grace looked up and saw a beautiful young ballerina in a tutu. Above the dancer, it said, Stunning New Juliet. That one is little Rosalie from back home in Trinidad, said Nana. Her granny and me, we grew up together on the island. She's always asking me, do I want tickets to see her Rosalie dance? So this time I said yes. After the ballet, Grace played the part of Juliet, dancing around her room in her imaginary tutu. I can be anything I want to be, she thought. So can you. On Monday, the class met for auditions to choose who was best for each part. When it was Grace's turn to be Peter, she knew exactly what to do and all the words to say. She had been Peter Pan all weekend. She took a deep breath and imagined herself playing anything. When it was time to vote, the class chose Raj to be Captain Hook and Natalie to be Wendy. There was no doubt who would be Peter Pan. Everyone voted for Grace. You were fantastic, whispered Natalie. The play was a big success, and Grace was amazing as Peter Pan. After all, she said, I feel as if I could fly all the way home. You probably could, said Ma. Yes, said Nana. If Grace put her mind to it, she can do anything she wants. At the end of every good book, we say the end. Now, I love this book because not only was Grace able to play the part that was supposed to be played by a boy, and not only was Grace supposed to be played by a boy who was not black, but she did it. And so can you. That's the key. You just gotta want it bad enough. You gotta go home and work on it hard enough. And then you can fly just like Grace did. I hope you enjoy the book. Go find it. Go to the library. Go get it. Amazing Grace.